The Thieves Guild has sponsored today's podcast. The Thieves Guild is your number one destination for the procurement of robbers, burglars, housebreakers, shoplifters, pickpockets, muggers, larcenists, pilferers, poachers, embezzlers, swindlers, crooks, cutpurses, footpads and lurchers. Just head down to the Clothmakers Guild and ask for a pebble-down mattress, wink twice and answer "Fiddle me dee" when they ask you your name. But don't tell them I sent you. I owe them money.
All the tabletop role-playing news, we aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG.
Hello, and welcome to Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. I, as always, am Russ, aka Morrus, or Morrus, aka Russ, and with me, as usual, is
Peter Coffey from the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers. Russ, as ever, it's an absolutely energetically delightful pleasure to be here.
It's a bit cosier than usual, Peter, isn't it?
It's super cosy.
We're kind of cuddled up here in front of my computer because we seem to have when I say we, I mean I, because Peter wasn't here at the time.
I have an alibi!
Somehow over the weekend I appear to have lost the cable that goes into the mixer from which the microphones come out.
It's a problem.
It is a problem, and we've tried searching around the house and we cannot find a replacement cable. So we are sitting in front of the computer, huddled up together for warmth.
Yes, that's super appropriate on this 20 degrees centigrade day, which, for those of you in hot countries, would be like, yeah, whatever. Oh, shouldn't you whack a jumper on?
It's a bit warmer than that, I think. I think they said it was going to get to 27 today.
I know. Bearing in mind this is the UK, where we laugh in the face of the concept of air conditioning, and may occasionally have a fan, which is great, but does make for an awkward podcast recording noise. So we're just sat here hoping that the next door neighbour's dog does not go absolutely bananas one more time.
Mm-hmm. He's quite a loud, yappy dog.
Super yappy.
Yeah.
I presume it's a tiny dog as well.
And that's not next door, that's 3 or 4 houses down.
But we're here. We're ready to record. What better time could there be?
So how's your week been, Peter?
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. I have been to a castle yesterday.
Ooh, which castle?
A Rendell Castle.
Oh, I love the Rendell Castle.
Yeah.
I've been there in quite a while.
Yes, they had a bunch of historical reenactors doing various things like shooting arrows at stuff.
Yeah.
Hacking away at each other, which involves grown men wearing several layers of padding and chainmail and helmets and a tabard or two on top, then having some sort of massive mosh on the green. It's like, yeah.
That sounds almost exactly like what I was watching this morning.
Nah.
Well, no, that was Game of Thrones.
Oh, that was Game of Thrones. Yeah. Like Game of Thrones, but with 100% less dragon.
Yes. 200% less dragon.
Maybe even 300%.
Doesn't even make sense.
You know what?
Okay.
With no spoilers here. No spoilers, that's my battle cry.
Well, shall we do some news?
Oh, I suppose we could.
I saw something quite funny.
You did?
I like funny things.
Oh, yes, yeah.
It's even on a Reddit, and you like Reddits.
Oh, yes, yes. Your iPad betrays you, sir.
So, it's this thing that someone posted on Reddit. His name is Second Best D&D.
Yes.
I think that's his born name.
Yeah, that seems likely.
Yeah. His older brother is best at D&D. It's like when your parents just name you third best son.
Yeah. So some people say it's harsh, but how else will they learn us? How else will they learn?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is it's another sort of it's like a page from the Player's Handbook, but it's called "If Spells and Abilities Were Written, How My Players Use Them." And so he's basically taken some common spells and other abilities and just rewritten them.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to read them all, but he's got Charm Person, Zone of Truth, Wild Shape, Sacred Weapon on the Sly, Sneak Attack, But I Am a Cleric, Spellbook and Spell Slots. Mm-hmm. So I'll just read Charm Person, for example.
Oh,
yeah. So it goes, Charm Person, casting time.
One action.
Range.
Touch.
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay.
Component, Swivel, Somatic.
Yeah.
Duration. Debatable. See below.
Oh, it's an hour, damn it.
And then he says, you attempt to charm a humanoid you can see within range.
Okay.
Good start. Solid start.
I like it.
The target is required to make a wisdom saving throw.
Traditional.
If they succeed, that's bullshit.
What?
That's complete bullshit. bullshit. Why would anyone take this spell if it literally does nothing? I hate this class. If the target fails its wisdom saving throw, you own that humanoid and it will do literally anything you want. It's not friendly, it's yours. You may tell it to give you all of its money or shit its pants, and legally it has to do it. It's right here in the rulebook.
I think around it is not.
After an hour, your dungeon master might say that the effect ends, but honestly, that's bullshit. I can't believe that. What good is this spell if it's not permanent? This game sucks. I shouldn't have been a bard.
That's true, they should not have been bard. I can agree with that bit. Yeah.
I like, but I am a cleric as well. This is a cleric class feature.
Yeah.
It's a good one, this.
It's an important class feature, don't you?
Once per long rest,
yes.
When adjacent to a damaged and friendly creature,
yes.
you may restore all of its hit points.
All of them are hit points.
If the dungeon master asks you to describe how you accomplish this, point out that you are a cleric.
What, I'm a cleric, bro.
Gesture vaguely towards your spell list, as though you cannot be bothered with such petty concerns.
Well, I got them all right here. Healing word, short wounds.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
Yeah, I can definitely heal him up. So yeah, he's on max hit points. Yeah, there. So he's got a whole bunch of these. So I'm going to stick a link in the show notes for that because it is definitely worth reading.
Yes.
And I can identify with pretty much all of them too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Moving on to some actual news, though.
What's actual news?
Actual news. The first episode of Paizo's Oblivion Oath is up on YouTube now.
The first episode of Paizo's what now?
Oblivion Oath. This is
Oblivion Oath.
Yeah, this is their live play, actual live stream play. What you can do, you can take live, play, actual, and stream, and you can use any two of those words, and it still makes sense.
So it's their stream actual.
It's their actual stream.
Their stream play, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Their live actual, yeah.
Or Pathfinder 2.
How exciting.
Run by designer Jason Bullman.
Ooh.
And I haven't watched it yet, so I can't really comment any more than this, but it is on YouTube, and you can sit and watch. I think, actually, by the time this goes out, the second episode is going to be up there, too. So if you are interested in Pathfinder 2, it's a good way for you to see what the final version of the rules ended up looking like.
Yes. Do we know anything about Savage Worlds and their release schedule? Because apparently the books for the Kickstarter awards have been delayed until August.
Really? I did not know that.
Well, this is my unconfirmed rumour that I've heard because I've been getting super back into my Savage Worlds. That's been my cause of the moment. I'm jonesing desperately, Russ, for my Savage Worlds Adventurers Edition handbook because I actually said, oh, go on, I said, what I'll do is I'll go for the nice black gold embossed cover with the extra little things because I was just like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and commit to getting a nice copy of the rulebook because I believe it will get, and certainly PDF has been really interesting.
So where did you see the information about, because I can't see a note on the Kickstarter page itself.
No, I'm hearing it off Reddit, so I was just wondering if there had been something official that I'd noticed, that they'd announced or anything like that. But
for those, wait a minute, for those who want to read it, yeah, it does look like they are shipping in August. When was it originally supposed to ship?
Well, I've had the PDF already, so now-ish.
Hello, your editor Daryl here. The original estimated release date for the Savage Worlds limited edition hardcover was June of 2019. So this is going to be a bit over a 2-month delay from the original estimated release date proposed by the Kickstarter.
Yeah? There you go.
The PDF copy came out, 2 months ago? Maybe 3 months ago?
Mm.
In fact, it might even come out before Christmas. I can't remember.
It did, because I remember telling you about it, and you were surprised.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know it had come out, despite the fact that you were a backer of the Kickstarter and I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. so it's come out before Christmas, and now I'm going to have to wait, 8, 9 months before I actually get my sweaty paws on a copy. And it's like,
yeah. Well, I suppose it's not too far now, though. So, you remember the many Greek settings?
Oh, so many.
I think there's 3, is there? So there's Hellenistica?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well.
Hellenistica by...
has Rodney bought that? No, he hasn't. It's a D&D guy bought
Ken Hyde.
Hellenistica
is by Ken Hyde.
Yes.
There's Arcadia with a K.
Yes.
Which is by somebody else.
Is that not a Russian one? No, I thought that was Russian.
It's a Russian one,
yeah.
And then, of course, there's Odyssey of the Dragonlords, which is the one
Yes.
from the BioWare designers.
Okay, yeah.
That's just hit Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
which is why it's in the news, and it's doing pretty well. I think it's made a good couple $100,000 already quite quickly. And it's looking absolutely gorgeous. If you look at some of the artwork from it.
Oh, wow, what the?
Very pretty.
What the fish is going on there?
That looks lots of hands coming out of the ground and a big tree man.
That
Some kind of titan, I would have thought.
puts me in mind a bit of, it's not Dada-esque, sort of a Picasso almost.
Okay.
As in you've got like these arms reaching up, but they're clearly the size of trees. They're reaching up towards this sort of tenebrous, twisting, shadowy cloud that's coming down.
Wow, that's a word. That's a
Okay,
good word.
fine, shadowy, if you must.
No, that's a good word. I like it. It's just that I've never heard anyone use that word before. That's a good word.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, and then it's sort of reaching down again with more hands and sort of reaching up to join each other. It's like, I don't know what's going on, but that shit looks spooky as fuck. Excuse my French.
Yeah, so these guys, they did, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Neverwinter Nights, Dragon Age Origins, Knights of the Old Republic, stuff like that. This is their design history in video games.
Storied games, absolutely.
And they've moved on to D&D 5th edition. And this is Greek inspired. I think the other two we mentioned were very much Greek mythology.
Yes. Leaning heavily into the Greek mythology,
yeah. Well, this is more Greek inspired, I think, rather than actually Greek mythology.
I'm pretty sure there's been at least one other Greek Kickstarter, Greek-themed 5th D&D Kickstarter.
That would have been Arcadia, yeah.
Well, we've had that, and I saw, and Hellenistic, I don't recall.
Hasn't happened yet. It was announced last year.
Oh, yeah, there's been another couple of conversions. There was one that I actually missed because because we were doing it, and actually, because I forgot about it, I didn't immediately get in the Kickstarter. It was so close to date that I actually missed it. And it wasn't Arcadia. That was another one. Anyway, but yes. It's clearly Greek myths, clearly popular, and to be fair, Greek myths, superheroes. We talked about Jason the Argonauts before, and the original one, and how that was basically an attempt to set up a superhero franchise. So yeah, why not?
What else do we have? Star Wars Allies and Adversaries.
Ooh.
This is basically a big old book of NPCs by Fantasy Flight Games for their Star Wars game. I think we have mentioned it before.
Yes. I think we talked about it. They're bringing out all sorts of Boba Fett sorts of
they've
things.
just got some preview pieces online that you can have a quick look through.
Oh, that's some nice Star Wars.
Is that that'll be a Bantha. That'll be a Wookiee with armour. Well, I say armour, it's more spiky shoulder pads.
Oh, dangerous.
A
Grand Moff
Tarkin.
Yeah.
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And others.
Yes.
Yeah. So if people are interested in seeing that, they can just pop to the link in the show notes, and there's a whole preview there with loads of artwork and other bits of exciting information.
Yes. Good times.
To whet your Star Wars appetites.
Yes.
What else do we have? We have got... You remember the New York Times posted all about D&D a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, yes. They were saying, we know why D&D is so popular. And we're like, do you now?
And do you know what the Washington Post did? The Washington Post went, well, we're having some of that. If the New York Times can do it, we can do it too. So the Washington Post has now posted an article called How Dungeons & Dragons Somehow Became More Popular Than Ever.
Welcome to the party.
Yes, yeah. And the BBC did one last year too, so I think... And Forbes does them quite often.
Can we call this news at this point? It's like, it's really big, but your claims to know how it happened...
I think it's news to people who don't follow role-playing games at all.
Yeah. Like if you're not involved with role-playing games, then yes, the world-spanning popularity of D&D is probably news to you. Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Amazon has a new D&D page.
Ooh.
So if you want to...
Is that where you can go for all your spoilers? Or press releases?
No.
Before they actually get around to releasing the stuff. That, like,
I see, yeah.
Flag it up on Amazon there, so it's like official leaks of forthcoming material.
Sadly, no. It's just a single page carefully laid out so that you can find all of the D&D products all on one page.
Nice.
And it sort of has sections for new to D&D, then you've got these ones, and returning to D&D, you've got these ones, and these are accessories, and these are the core rules, and all this sort of stuff, all kind of laid out so that anyone can just go along to Amazon's D&D page and at a glance kind of know where to go and what to get.
How convenient.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought it was very jolly nice of them.
Yeah.
So the hobby market is down 3% in 2018. was down 3% in 2018.
Okay.
So it shrunk for the first time in quite a number of years.
Yeah.
Because it's been very much on the rise.
This is
all of 2018.
Oh, okay.
So this is a study by ICV2.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole hobby games market is, of course, not just RPGs, which is only a tiny, tiny part.
Oh, yeah.
It's collectible card games and miniatures and
board games,
all sorts of stuff.
War games, CCGs, the whole lot.
Yeah. But the good news is RPGs is up.
Yeah.
So RPGs are up 18%.
Woohoo!
But the market as a whole is down 3%, and apparently that is mainly due to a big reduction in collectible games over the last year. For some reason, losing traction.
Interesting. Collectible games being what, like Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, collectible card games. I think there are probably other collectible games, I don't know.
Yeah, like probably something involving minis.
Probably, or dice or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
That wouldn't be the topic of this podcast. You'd have to look for another podcast.
Yes, you have to look for the Collectible Games podcast.
Yes.
The
CGP.
Yeah. Kickstarter have announced
Yes.
that the games category over at Kickstarter
Yeah.
has crossed $1 billion.
Whoa, calm down, that Dr. Evil. What?
$1 billion.
1 billion.
A billion.
So that's like what, 1,000
With a
million?
B. A billion. And yes, an American billion, I assume, rather than a British billion.
Wow, that's a standard now. You can just go with it. $1,000 million. All right. So what's a RPG set you backed? Like $45, something like that?
I suppose it varies, but yeah. I couldn't tell you what the average pledge is.
Yeah, so we say like $100 if you splurge and get dice and everything.
Yeah. Well, this is games overall, though. It's not just RPGs.
Yeah.
I mean, that includes...
But $100 seems like as a first approximation, $100, like that's a swanky computer game with like some extra bits.
Yep.
It's like RPG with like all the bits and postage and packaging. It's a really nice board game with P&P, right? That's got to be included, I assume. So $100, 1,000 million, so that's about 10 million, roughly, sort of games shifted.
What, units?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 17,000 projects in total.
Wow.
And what's interesting, though, is 680 million of that is the tabletop game.
Ooh, like board games?
What, board games, role-playing games.
Oh, okay.
Tabletop games, as opposed to video games.
With you, yes.
So you'd initially think, it's probably all just the big video games making loads and loads of money. It's not. It's tabletop games. It's the majority of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is very anecdotal, of course, so you shouldn't rely upon it for your scientific backing, and definitely don't quote Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk has an authoritative source in writing any sort of academic works, but my wife tells me that people were complaining a lot about Kickstarter on Reddit and so forth, and people were saying, well, actually, RPGs and tabletop games are some of the most reliable.
Okay.
Don't know why. We've got no explanation for it, but they're coming through, and certainly the numbers from Kickstarter are bearing it out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it does make a sort of sense, because when you're like doing RPG on Kickstarter, you've got various levels of preparedness all the way from like yourself, who's like, my product is ready, give me the money so I can print and ship it, and all the way to people who say, well, yeah, we've got most of an idea here, we need some artwork.
I wonder if there's an element of that. The reason that they're more reliable might be, and this is, I'm just putting this.
This is random speculation.
Completely out of the air here. So, the RPG industry is so small that, generally speaking, you're sort of not more than one person away from anyone else.
Yeah.
Which makes it, a very, very small network.
Yeah.
Which means your reputation kind of
precedes you.
Well, is very important. Whereas the electronics industry, for example, if you're producing a new electronic gadget on Kickstarter to, I don't know,
like an air cooling device or something.
Yeah, it's like a solar-powered screwdriver or something.
Okay, yes. A must-have accessory for 2019. You heard it here first. Solar-powered screwdrivers, absolutely way forward.
But the size of the electronics industry is...
Take my money, sorry.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, generally speaking, you don't have this sort of small niche community where everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that helps. It's just a bit of peer pressure almost, pushing RPGs to be a little more reliable because you're going to piss off somebody you know.
Yes. They might even have backed your Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We're writing to you and saying, Russ, where's my kit? Where's my kit? Where's my kit, Russ? And also people like, was it, I think, Modiphius, was it? They tend to swoop in and rescue Kickstarters and make sure people get the rewards.
I think Chaosium have done that a couple of times.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Modiphius do tend to swoop in and help publish games.
Yes.
Like they're now publishing that BioWare designs.
Oh, okay, the BioWare Greek-themed D&D module.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think, so in the latest piece of news, I can officially announce that now Modiphius now produces and publishes every role-playing game ever to have been written and ever to be written.
Yeah, seems fair.
Yeah.
What can I say? They saw an opening in the market, print everything, and they went for it.
Yes.
So what were they carrying from what sold is new?
Well, there we go.
Oh, okay.
So next is Drizzt
Yay, Drizzt.
He is boundless.
He's certainly back. There we go, Drizzt.
New novel.
Yes.
Available for pre-order now by, of course, R.A. Salvatore.
Yes.
I don't know what to tell you, really. It's going to be out in September if you're a fan of Drizzt novels.
Best day ever.
Best day ever. This one features Zach Nafane a lot, which is Drizzt's dad.
Oh, okay.
As far as I can make out from the back cover blurb.
Sure, why not?
Yes, and he's now been displaced in time in some way.
Ah, is he lost in time and space? The Drizzt Cthulhu overlap crossover. Best day ever. Drizzt goes to a different plane and fights Cthulhu.
I hope he does.
That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
I'd read that.
I think that would be excellent. Let's have a look.
I think there was a humble bundle about 3D printing stuff at some point.
Oh, yes, Darryl mentions that here. Do you have a 3D printer? No.
No.
Are you starved for blueprints to create terrain and miniatures for your games?
No, but I could be.
Do you not own a 3D printer?
I do not own a 3D printer.
Then you might want to check your local library or university, as many have printers.
Oh, nice, that's true. Or also Hackspaces are sources of printers. There's actually one local to Southampton.
What spaces?
A Hackspace.
Hackspace. Hackspace.
Wait, chop. A Hackspace, it's where you put stuff together. So a Hackspace is essentially sort of like a workshop that your aspiring geek worker can go to and gain membership of, and then gain access to various tools and things that they might not be able to keep in their home due to reasons of space or for reasons.
Okay, right. I learned a new thing.
You have
I've never heard of a Hackspace before in my entire life.
Okay, remember, get on the Discord and make sure to laugh at Russ about how you didn't know about Hackspaces, because then that will make me feel much better about myself.
Hashtag Team Morrus.
Hashtag Team Morrus. That's MORRUS.
Because I'm being bullied by Peter again.
Yay!
As happens frequently.
You love it.
Strong term. Well, anyway, I was talking about this 3D printing stuff.
Come on, try and stay on target.
Before you interrupted me and started talking about hacks and spaces and...
Stop digressing and focus, Russ. Come on.
So, this bundle, which is... this was your news item, you brought it up.
It's on your website. You paid for this to occur. This is on you.
So, there's a bundle.
Yay.
3D printing stuff. There you go.
A humble bundle.
Yeah, so $343 worth of plans, which you can get for either $1, $8, or $15.
Nice.
And it's got dungeons, caves, monsters, treasure chests, statues, crates, ruins, doors, and more. And it benefits the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society.
Ah, fantastic.
I think we're probably done with the news.
Huzzah!
That's quite quick, wasn't it?
Well, never mind.
Well, there we go. Oh no, one last bit.
Oh, yes.
Right. Which of these D&D classes
would
you take if you had to choose one?
Fighter.
Hashtag this is really an ad.
Oh.
I'm advertising something that I'm going to be kickstarting soon. I'm secretly advertising it by asking you a question and engaging you.
Oh, is this one of those advertorials I hear so much about? Oh, okay.
Well, so basically, we did a Touch More class.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, which was 7 new D&D classes.
In fact, you did a touch of class.
A touch of class.
Yes.
And we're doing a touch more class in a couple of months.
Yes.
Or even less than a couple of months, maybe.
Yes.
And so I posted like the 9 classes.
Yes.
basic just descriptions of them, just to see what sort of ones people would choose. So you're starting a new D&D game, and you have to have one of these classes for whatever bizarre reason. There's a sniper saying, choose one of these classes, or I'm going to shoot you. Okay. So these are your choices.
Yes.
So you have a blood weaver.
Ooh, nice.
Who's like a macabre magician. I'm not going to read the descriptions if you
Sounds sploshy.
just like the name or you don't.
Yeah. I presume they have a big paintbrush.
Yes, almost certainly.
Like a sort of an evil Bob Ross.
We've got the Fate Bender, Destiny's Chosen.
Oh, yes. The person that all the GMs will love. Forever and ever and ever.
The Gemini, the Two-Faced Warrior.
Bum, bum, bum.
The Geomancer, Nature's Half-Mage.
An earthbender, you say? Crack on.
Essentially, yeah. The Gunfighter, a Black Powder Desperado.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't think it has laser guns.
I'm very disappointed in Morrus. Very disappointed. Anyway, crack on.
The Lodestar, Fractured Soul Given Form.
What? You mean they're sort of magnetic?
Well, they've got these...
Oh, that would be a lodestone, my bad.
Yeah, well, sort of.
They've
It's got these stones, like ion stones or eon stones, however you pronounce it,
Yes.
spinning around their heads.
Oh, okay.
The Mahout, a monster tamer.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
The Savant, Mind Over Matter. That
Oh.
one's basically Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
And the Tinkerer, Engineer of Wonder.
Nice.
What do you reckon? What would you choose?
Pew, 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 pew. Gunslinger.
Yeah?
Yes.
I would go Savant, I think. I like the idea of doing sort of Sherlock Holmes. It's like Sherlock Holmes, but sort of Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, where he's like very calculated the way he fights and that sort of stuff, and it's all like...
Plays that all in his head.
Yeah.
Blam. Let's go.
Yeah. I like the look of that one.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that'll be coming out in, a month or so?
Ooh,
It'll be fun.
Yes.
There we go. Sneaky bit of my own news in at the end there.
We would be able, if you decide to subscribe, patronise,
Kickstart.
kickstart this idea, would you also be able to get access to a touch-up class as well?
Yes.
For those who miss it? Oh.
Yes, you will. They will both be available on the Kickstarter. So you'll be able to get one or both of the books.
Really?
Or... No, it's the only combination, one or both. I was kind of thinking there's a third combination there, but
You could get
the other one's one or the
both.
other or both. Yes, that's the three. You can
One, both, or none.
get or none of them. You can go to the Kickstarter
You
and
can
get none of
just
the
give
books.
Russ money if you wish, but honestly, the books honestly should be quite good. I don't know, I haven't seen them, but I have every reason to believe they'd be quite good.
Oh, we've got one last little bit.
Oh yes.
Critical Role.
Uh-huh.
The Kickstarter ended finally.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Did they break the 10 mil mark?
Well, I was just going to say, why don't you try and guess what they got? I tell you my guess.
Yes.
When they launched, I guess they would make $12 million.
Okay, that was quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think I did guess 23 or 35 million something last week. I have no.
No, you said 36 million actually. Yeah.
I have no conception of the value of money. It has well been established.
Yes. Well, they got $11,385,449 with over 88,000 backers.
Get in.
That is insane.
11.4k.
Yeah.
Good shout, lads. Good shout.
Wow. It's the fifth biggest Kickstarter of any kind ever. That's pretty good going, I think.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah. It doesn't actually count as an RPG Kickstarter or even a tabletop one, though. It's firmly in the films and media category.
Oh yeah.
But even so,
That's all quite good.
it's still awesome. Yeah. Anyway,
And they're going to make a series out of that, yeah?
yes, I think they're doing a whole series now.
Whew.
It was originally just for one episode.
Yeah,
But-
well, we really should find out. I mean, imagine if they did like a 2-hour-long episode and spent 12... Well, actually, it'd be probably... I don't know, would it be longer? Wow. We really should find out how much the budget for a film is, so we've got some idea of how well they've done.
I think they do talk about it quite a bit in some of their updates and stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably worth looking. I think Daryl talked about it a little bit in his little editorial bit on the Patreon episode last week. But yeah, it varies immensely. But for an animated episode, I think they're basically talking around $1 million per episode.
Wow. So, at least 11, maybe even 12.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, if you take off other costs and things like that, and they've also got to produce all the like hats and bags and badges or whatever it is.
The paraphernalia.
Yeah. Whatever it is they're actually giving you for your Kickstarter, because the actual show itself is going out to everyone.
Yes.
Anyway, should we play our favourite game in all the world?
Our favourite game in all the world? Wow, that'd be amazing. Right, I'll play a gunslinger. No?
Not that game, Peter, not that game.
Oh, our other favourite game in all the world.
Yes.
Okay.
Game where I read out the name of the Kickstarter.
Yes.
And you try and guess what it is from just the name.
Oh, I'm supposed to try and guess what it is.
Yeah.
Damn, I've been playing this game all wrong.
I know.
Well, I was wondering why I'd been doing so badly in points. Well, how about that, hey?
Let's give it a go. Let's see if you can turn your fortunes around then.
Why the hell not?
Why not? Okay. Number one is Critical Core.
Critical Core. Much so, I would love this to be a sci-fi supplement for, say, Traveller or some other science fiction game where they talk about exactly under what conditions you would need to do what they call a core dump and get rid of your the Medicius Star Trek system. So and that's when they talk about like having what conditions and what happens when you actually dump your warp core. I don't think it's that.
It's not that.
It would be cool if it was though.
But it's not.
It's not. So I think instead it is the core rules for a system. I guess maybe the critical system. I'm hoping it involves some sort of information about critical hits. Otherwise, I'm very disappointed.
So you just scored -1 million points.
Excellent.
Excellent indeed. So what this is a core rulebook for a adapted and streamlined version of D&D 5th edition, but it's designed for kids on the autism spectrum to build confidence and social skills.
Oh.
So it's kind of like a educational therapeutic. Is that the word I mean? I don't know if that's the word I mean.
I don't know. If you finish your sentence, I'll be able to say it.
It's designed to sort of help parents engage with their children at home, and also apparently for professionals to use as group social skills tools as well.
Yeah, and therapeutic would be a word you
Yes,
use.
yeah. Suitable for cognitive age 9+, including teens and adults. 2 to 4 players recommended, plus 1 adult who acts as the facilitator.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think that's also it's quite an important project as well, rather than just
Socially conscious.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good they're doing that. Yeah. Okay, next one.
Yes.
The next one is called The Grand Temple
Yes.
of Jing, and Grand has an E in it, and the E.
Is that the end of the word?
It might be a silent E at the beginning. It might be
The grand.
No, it's at the end of the word.
So it's not the greens, it's the grand. Okay.
Yes, it's the
Grand
the Grande Temple of Jing.
Well, presumably it's a very big temple.
One assumes.
Far too large for one person to drink in a single sitting. See, topical Starbucks humour, and they say Jerry Seinfeld's out of date.
Yeah. Starbucks jokes. Starbucks jokes are the best jokes.
Yes. Like when you see Dirk, Benedict, and the lady whose name I have temporarily forgotten sitting in Starbucks enjoying Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
There's
Yeah,
a
it's a
meme
good
about
joke.
that somewhere.
It's a good joke, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. It really isn't.
Anyway.
Really, the standards of humour have dropped. Was it Jing with a J?
Jing. Jing.
Oh, okay. Well, I will say this sounds like some sort of vaguely Chinese / Oriental sort of module for adventuring in. The use of grand with an E. Presumably there's no accent of the E, which would make it in fact grande. And Jing, I happen to know, is the Chinese word for gold. If I get that wrong, then doubtless my wife will correct me.
Okay.
Anyway, not that she listens to this podcast. Oh, wait. Anyway, moving on. Moving swiftly on. So Grand Temple Jing, it's going to be a source book set in a Oriental / Chinese setting. Hopefully not a terrible mishmash of China, Korea, and Japan, as usually happens with this sort of thing, but an actual proper, going to lean in and do fantasy terminology and do something interesting. And I'm hoping for something gold happening. And definitely dragons. If there's no dragons, I should also be very disappointed. Okay, what is it?
Incorrect. Another -1 million points.
Okay.
So this is a mega dungeon. Old school style mega dungeon, but with modern rules and sensibilities.
And this would be different from the module? Okay.
There are 65 themed dungeon levels. And it has, the interesting thing is, they've got a slew of
65?
designers. Yeah, it's big.
Wow.
500 pages, this book.
Okay.
It's got some proper legendary game designers involved.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got Jonathan Tweet.
Oh, yes.
They've got Monty Cook.
13 Page and Monty Cook, yeah.
Monty Cook is 3rd edition, Numenera,
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. I don't think I actually had the chance to play any of his games because people aren't running them.
Monty Cook's?
Yeah.
You must have played 3rd edition at one point.
3rd edition, indeed, yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Skip Williams, Ed Greenwood, who created The Forgotten Realms, Jim Ward, who was he's obviously Drawbridge.
Drawbridge's Instant Summons, yeah.
Gary Gygax's gaming group.
Yeah.
Chris Pramus of Green Run and Publishing, who's done tons of D&D stuff.
A lot.
Stan, with an exclamation mark.
Stan?
Yeah, he's a prolific D&D author.
Nice.
Grimtooth.
Of the traps.
Okay. Matt Mayhew, Dave Gross,
Mate,
Kevin Andrew Murphy.
It's a 65 level dungeon. If you don't have some traps in there, then I don't know what
Well, there is there, yeah.
Yeah.
So it says that there's something for every group and style of play. So some of the levels are heavy in combat and tactics, and others are filled with riddles and puzzles or other challenges. Some are quick, some are huge sprawls that harken back to the dungeon days of old. Some are deadly serious, some are almost frivolous. So it just sounds like a whole big collection of different themed levels.
Yeah. Dungeon of the Mad Maze.
Yeah, that was that. Basically, each level was a totally different theme.
I've got to say, this might actually be bigger.
It is bigger.
Yeah.
Considerably bigger.
Yeah.
Much bigger.
It's pretty huge.
Yeah.
You've got whole characters that will have their adventuring lives within the confines of that module.
I'm not clear, though, why the word grand has an E on the end of it, or why they use a Chinese word like Jing.
Oh.
Who knows?
Yes. I'm sure it won't be relevant.
No. Okay, the next one is...
Yes.
You might like that. So, this one is called Deniable Assets.
Okay.
It's an interesting name, at least.
Deniable assets would indicate some sort of spies or other operatives engaged in covert operations, and it would be. I would hope for a sourcebook to talk about how to add various deniable assets into your game, like people like mercenaries, like almost shadowrunners, if you will, people who are not on official government payrolls but nevertheless undertake operations for you.
I'm glad you said shadowrunners because this is the cyberpunk genre.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 5 out of 10 for that.
Okay.
So you're at minus 4 million plus 5, whatever that comes to. But this is it's a neo 80s game about the unglimpsed mid-tier villains of the cyberpunk genre.
The unglimpsed mid-tier villains.
Yes. So you play rank and file mega corporate rats.
Yes.
You blow money you don't have, fund technology you can't control, lie to everyone, and dodge spies, grifters, and kill teams as you strive for power in a rigged and amoral system.
I can see why it's neo 80s.
Yes.
But yes,
that might be fun.
We'll have many listeners who will be. Well, I don't know if we'll have many listeners, but it's potentially we've got listeners for whom the 80s was, 40 odd years ago? Yeah.
I think the 80s was 40 odd years ago for everyone.
That's true.
The 80s was only last week.
That's true. It feels like it was only last week.
Well, I think that's probably the end of our favourite game in all the world, in which you scored minus 3,999,995. That's not a bad score.
Yeah.
Not a bad score.
I prefer to think of it in absolute terms.
Oh, you did quite well there.
Thank you for calling the Adventurers Hotline. This call may be recorded for quality assurance purposes. How may I help you today?
It's my talking sword.
Your talking sword. Is there a problem?
Yes, there is. It doesn't seem to be working.
How would you describe the problem you're having with your sword?
Well, it still cuts things. The magical edge still fells foes as effectively as ever. It just seems to have stopped talking to me.
I see, and when did you first notice the problem?
Let me see. I think it might have been just after I saved the town of Satbury from an orc warband.
Orc warband. Can you tell me what happened?
It was all quite routine, to be honest. My companions and I got word that Balthurg and his army were in the southern marches. We met them at the gates of Saltmarsh, and I challenged the Orc Lord himself to single combat. Blood Drinker, Doomblade of the Whispers, was talking as normal until I disarmed the wretch and called for him to yield.
I see. And what was the last thing Blood Drinker said?
You know, it's the strangest thing. The last thing it said was, "Slay the fiend, cut down the wretch where he lies, and we shall be rid of another plague of the 8 realms." After that, not a word.
And what did you do?
Well, the Orc Lord yielded and promised never to return, so I set him free.
Are you a lawful good paladin by any chance?
Yes? How is that relevant?
I don't think there's anything wrong with your sword, sir. I think it's just giving you the silent treatment.
Silent treatment? Whatever for?
Quite common with these sentient weapons, I'm afraid. All they want is to taste the blood of your enemies.
You know, you did used to say that a lot.
And will you be a paladin all?
Which one? Lady of Mercy.
Yes, Lady of Mercy. I think it's just not a good fit. My advice to you would be to trade it in for a slightly less bloodthirsty weapon. You'll both be much happier in the long run. Have an excellent day.
So that was by Richard Kirk. Thank you, Richard, for sending that in.
Yes, titled The Silent Treatment.
Yes, if anyone else wants to send us a sketch,
Yes.
you can send it to morruspodcast@gmail.com and we'll do our best to perform it badly.
Absolutely. Well, we'll do our best to perform it well, but we'll probably end up performing it badly.
Yes, all right, that's a more accurate description.
It's fair. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be very long. We're like looking for 2-3 minutes reading it out.
Is it time, do you think, for our topic of the week?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I thought this week what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reviewing that classic 1986 runaway pop hit, The Final Countdown, produced by Europe. Yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant plan. I'm not entirely sure I see how it relates to RPGs, but I'm a big fan of countdown mechanics, so there's that.
Yeah, and also...
Yes? Yes?
Should we not do that, and should we instead review the Final Enemy Adventure Module U3 for D&D? Or should we stick with the Final Countdown?
I'm thinking about it. Which do you think you can talk? I think we should definitely do the Final Countdown.
Go on, let's do the module, shall we?
Oh, fine. Small. All
right then. So the Final Enemy is the third part in this 3-part trilogy.
Oh, it's a meaty module as well.
It is considerably bigger than the first 2 parts.
Yeah.
It's about 50 pages long.
Oof, yeah, we've got what? Three maps at the start, which is pretty big, and they are again, about 200 by 400, maybe 500 feet in scale, which is pretty large. Also blue, which I'm reliably informed by listening to our Discord. Hi Shane. Are blue to prevent photocopying.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So how about, do you want to do a quick summary of the previous 2, and then I'll do a quick summary of the plot of this one? Does that sound good?
Yeah, I suppose I can give it. Like, the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh was U1, and that involved a sort of Scooby-Doo episode.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
Involving a illusionist, because it's always an illusionist. They are the worst, except for enchanters. They're the proper worst. But the illusionists are just the moderately worst, pretending to have a house be haunted through the use of strange mystic apparitions and other such phantasmal forces going on.
They would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those pesky kids.
Yes, and by pesky kids we mean pesky adventurers.
Yes.
Are something like, 9-10 of them, all roaming in.
You think that's bad? Where do you see what this one's for?
This one, by the way, is from 1983. Not 1986. So there we go.
The Final Countdown was 1986.
Oh, okay. Well, this is from 1983.
Yes.
So what we're saying is that the Final Countdown ripped off the Final Enemy.
It must have done, yeah.
It's the only logical explanation. And this is what, 8 to 12 characters.
8 to 12.
I mean, at that stage, I'm like, well, look, guys, there's 12 of us. Why don't we just split into?
Not only that, you're going to find out that there's a whole lot of NPCs as well. like about a dozen NPCs to go along with you as well. But anyway, let's carry on.
Ambitious.
Yeah, let's carry on summarising. So that was the first one.
Yes, Sinister Secrets of Saltmarsh. And then we skipped to U2, which was... what was U2?
It was an Irish rock band that became popular during the 80s.
Sorry, Russ. Actually, that's Who Are You Two? Clearly you're no good at this gaming in Jeopardy either.
Dear.
What was the name of it? I can't remember. It says on the back here.
Danger at Dunwater.
Danger at Dunwater. Marvellous. And that deserves some sort of like fishmen theme going on. And that was entirely appropriate because you had a pile of displaced lizard men that had been displaced by Swahogan, who are like murderous shark people, and they'd taken refuge in a cave shortly before your protagonists, turned up and killed them all. Talked to them peacefully in a complete break from tradition.
Talking of Sahuagin,
Yes.
we've got to practice that word because we're going to be saying that a lot throughout this adventure. Sahuagin.
Shark folk. Yeah.
Yeah, we should just call them shark men and just leave it like that.
But, I know it. Well,
Shark people. Sahuagin, yeah. So the U3, the final one in the trilogy, is basically the assault on the Sahuagin headquarters base, which is so these modules. The U is generally sort of talked of as meaning underwater.
Oh, okay.
As you may have noticed, none of them have been underwater so far.
Not even a little bit.
This one is.
Oh,
At least we have a 3-level dungeon, which is Sahuagin Lair, and the bottom 2 levels of it are all underwater, and it refers you to the Dungeon Master's Guide for Underwater Rules with a whole bunch of new rules in this module.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the idea of this one is 8 to 12 of you.
Right.
That's not a small group.
That's a pile of players.
Yeah, along with a contingent of Marines from the town of Saltmarsh, sent by the town council, are sent to scout out the Sahuagin Lair, to delve within, and to come back with information about the size of the lair, the forces to be found there, and other such information.
Crikey. So we're talking, about 20, potentially up to 20 PCs plus allies?
It seems like the sort of mission that you'd send one person on.
Yeah, or maybe like 2 or 3, or even a small crew. But this is going there in force. I mean, basically, you're a small army. Rock up.
So they go out of their way at the start. They say, basically, if the PCs don't... This is designed for PCs to be careful and tactical. Oh, yeah. And if they just go charging in, they will almost certainly die.
Okay.
Because the forces that they're faced against in this are overwhelming.
Right.
You can't just hack your way through this adventure. You've got to sneak through it. You've got to be careful.
They're going to find it quite hard to port that to 5th edition.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. But what we essentially have, it's in 3 parts.
Yes.
Well, some 2 major parts. So we've got a sort of introductory part where the council sends you off to reconnoitre the lair.
Yes, about 50 miles away from Saltmarsh, apparently.
You got a journey to the lair, which is on an island.
Oh, okay.
In which case you might have some various wilderness encounters and stuff. Mm-hmm. Including, I think there's one where 2 giant octopuses attack your ship.
Nice.
Which is always fun.
Yes.
And then you've got to get into the lair itself and scout it out, all 3 levels of it, and use underwater magic in order to survive it. Because 2 of the levels are completely submerged.
Right. Well, it appears that the artist for this module knows as much about architecture as I did.
Hmm?
Well, because it's like sort of like wooden.
Yeah, well, that's Saltmarsh.
Yeah, but it's like
the place called Mix.
The Tudor sort of design of the place. Yeah. I must say, it definitely didn't look that English to me.
Wow,
Parkinson, apparently. Yeah.
So the reward for collecting this information from the town council is 10,000 gold.
That is a hefty pile of cash.
Yeah. Well, the lizard men also provide 12 warriors and 2 officers to join your party as well.
As long
as you didn't kill them all in the previous adventure, in which case you don't get those.
I think a call to Britney Spears, oops, I did it again, might be appropriate here at this point.
Yeah.
So you've got, 30 odd people?
Yes. and these 30 people are going to sneak through a dungeon.
No. It's a squad of 6 Marines, local men, because that's what we need. We need 6 commoners.
So we've got 12 PCs, we've got 12 lizard people, plus 2 officers.
That's 14, plus 6 local Marines.
So we're over 30 now.
Yes.
Yeah. And these over 30 people are going to sneak into this dungeon in order to scout it out.
Because that's what I think of. I think, 30 stealth rolls. No one's going to blow that, are they?
So anyway, it's one thing I did notice about this adventure. I was reading.
If you're going to pay 10,000 gold pieces, you might as well say, look, here's 10,000 gold pieces. Organise a bunch of mercenaries, get in there and kick them in.
Yeah. Well, what they do once you get back with the information, they do send out an army and basically kills all the sharkmen off screen. So you've got to get in and get out with the information, and then the town will actually clear it up.
I gotta say, do these people even D&D? That's the best part.
I'll tell you what is quite fun is, do you remember, like, in the last module, there was that bit where they described the room, and at the end there were several lizard men falling into rank with an officer commanding them to line up and stuff.
Oh yes, and a magic user.
So that happened. That happened twice in that last module.
Okay.
It happens twice. For some reason, the authors of these modules really like you walking into rooms just as a dozen or so enemy warriors are being lined up into formation by an officer in random barracks and various rooms. It just keeps happening. It's really weird.
Yeah, crikey. I mean, this is going to be an interesting one to port because you've got your typical, you're not getting a party of 12 people playing a modern role-playing game.
No.
I mean, we might in some very fringe cases, but nowadays accepted wisdom is what you do, 4 to 6?
Usually, yeah.
7 if you're a lunatic GM who wishes to try and bring it all.
I imagine, it's going to take quite a bit of...
That's going to be a lot of porting, yeah. But the characters are much tougher.
Yeah, there is that. So what have we got? So we got journey to the fortress, the Lizardman Fortress. Fortress, the Sahuagin Fortress.
And do you remember from the first module where we had about 8 different rules?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Saltmarsh. We're not going to give you any details. You make all that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
But the pseudo dragon pet you can acquire, that needs a good several different lines, orders of preference. That needs to be mapped out. We're not playing with that because apparently pseudo dragons are awesome. I quite like a pet dragon myself. So
So then you approach through the marshlands.
Yes.
Where you can have a number of random encounters, including a black dragon, giant leeches, babblers. I'm not sure what babblers are. Giant constrictor snakes, crocodiles.
Yeah, there's that.
Hippopotamuses. Hippopotami.
All common features of the English countryside.
Yeah, of course. Especially hippopotami.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing time I went out screaming for hippopotami to the lads. Down by the Thames,
Most dangerous animal in Africa, apparently, the hippopotamus.
Yes, they will kill you without even blinking about it.
Yes.
Much more dangerous than lions.
Yeah. Then you get to the fortress itself.
Bum, bum, bum.
So you get to the front gates of the fortress, and there are these big stone doors.
Yes.
And you need a knock spell to get in.
Awkward.
It'd be awkward if you haven't got one, but I suppose with 12 of you, hopefully somebody's got one.
Well, hopefully, but I mean, to be fair, you get a jolly boat, which is not the name of a particularly happy boat, but is like a little baby boat that goes to a ship.
Yes.
And lets you go places.
Yes.
And you're going along there to get to the fortress.
Yes. And then you go onto this causeway, and there's these big stone doors which you need a knock spell to get through.
Yes.
And then you enter the lair itself, which is a big dungeon with 3 levels, and the bottom 2 levels are completely underwater. So you've got to use water breathing and various other magical methods in order to...
The Sahuagin are...
shark people.
Yes, they are amphibious.
Yes.
Amphibious? Yes.
Yes. So there's chances that, because you're going underwater, you can just run into random sharks and things, just like flying, swimming down the corridors and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I mean, it makes you fighting types of monsters you wouldn't normally, I suppose.
That is true.
Which makes it kind of fun.
There's a whole nautical section of D&D which is yet to be explored.
Well, I think it could be done quite well if you just kept the sea stuff mainly to flavour and didn't get too bogged down in the underwater rules, because I think that could slow the game down a bit. If you kept it mainly to flavour, just like when someone dies, just mention how it floats upwards towards the surface, or that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is it's they do have some quite realistic underwater fighting rules in the DMG, I think, which include things like Piercing weapons are great. Slashing and bludgeoning weapons, not so much so.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's worth just doing all that, because you just get, like, nerfs off your characters.
It will certainly make a cleric quite unhappy.
Yeah.
And also, how do they breathe? Spells of water, cap of water breathing, do you think?
Yeah, they have these magical abilities. Yeah. You're going to have to. So then basically they sneak through this dungeon, essentially.
Yes.
There's a slave pen there, but there's only one slave left. All the others have died.
Oh.
And there he is, an old emaciated man, and he was part of a previous adventuring party, and he's able to give you a whole bunch of information just before he dies in your arms, which is, convenient of him. Yes. And at one point, he, as he dies, he whispers to you and goes, "Remember Metamorph."
Bum, bum, bum.
And that is the command word for a magic item of his. The Sahwagin have taken.
I see.
Yeah. Oh, jolly exciting.
Oh, wonder polymorphing, in fact.
Which would be quite useful underwater, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
Polymorph you to an air elemental.
And then we continue on, and you can run into various slavers, and you can see various chieftains and things like that. Yeah, just sneaking through chieftains' barracks where there's, of course, a whole lot of people lining up.
21 adult male Swahogan.
Yeah, we've got 10 warriors here grouped in this circle, tormenting 2 crabs which are fighting each other, which is nice. In a different barracks, various barracks.
Yeah.
Cleric's quarters, lieutenant's quarters, all that sort of stuff. There's a temple. The temple has it's a big room with a great white shark swimming around in it. Who the Sahwagin sacrifice things to, and at the moment they are sacrificing some sort of runts of the litter, as it were, for young Sahwagin, which don't meet their
exacting standards of physical perfection.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, it's quite horrible.
Brilliant.
So there's that.
I do wonder, how did they get the great white shark in there?
Well, I suppose it's swimming.
But the first level is
from
not
below.
Underwater? Okay.
Then we've got a throne room, which contains the Baron, who's their chief leader guy, and he's a full-armed shark man.
Nice.
Sounds nice.
Do you think he's forewarned as well?
He's got a trident and a net of snaring.
I like the Baron. You didn't see that one coming.
No. And, so then you get to have a nice little fight with him.
Yes.
If you want, you can have a fight with him.
Yeah.
There's the Baroness, which I guess is his wife.
Yeah.
And she has her own quarters.
Yes.
And then we got an arena.
An arena
in which 2 Sahwagin are settling a difference in ritual combat while 50-odd watch underwater.
That's a lot of Sahwagin.
Yeah. There's a lot of Sahwagin. More lieutenants' quarters, more guard posts, more barracks, a drill hall, and another guard room, and that's basically it. So you basically search through all of this, probably kill a whole load of Sahwagin, hopefully don't get in too big a fight.
Well, yeah.
Because there are some rooms with 20 or 50 of them in them.
Yeah, and you'll get rocking up with like 30 odd, which is not the greatest of all.
It's not very subtle. And then you get out, make your way back to Saltmarsh.
Yes.
The people at Saltmarsh give you 10,000 gold, and then the entire adventure ends off-screen as the town council of Saltmarsh sends an army off to deal with the Sahwagin.
Yeah. The party members will take no part in this event, but they can be assured of its unqualified success, largely due to the information they were able to glean. Well, that's nice.
Yes.
Yes, you're contributing.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone tell you differently.
And there we go. That is the final countdown by Europe from 1986.
Yes.
A wonderful song.
Okay, so...
Well, the other one's the interesting one, because the first one was kind of a mystery detective thing with a twist in it. The second one was a diplomacy adventure with a twist in it.
Yeah.
This one is just a dungeon crawl where you've got to sneak about and not get killed.
To be fair,
it's very straightforward, this one.
Sinister Secrets is much stronger because it is a proper mystery and it's got some interesting things. There are some odd bits in it, like the chap who says, Oh, yes, I am a level 3 thief. Pleased to meet you.
Yes.
You'll say I'm a level 3 thief because I have all the prerequisites.
Well, that
here.
happens in this one. There's a guy who's a level 5 wizard, magic user, mage, whatever they call them.
Oh, yeah.
Magic user, I think it was, yeah. And he introduces himself, and he's a thaumaturge, which is a 5th level magic user.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please allow me to present my credentials here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the whole trilogy done.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. And then the second one, as you say, is largely a diplomacy mission.
Right, in theory.
In theory.
I think there's a good chance it could be a murder hobo mission, and then you realise at the end that you've screwed up the entire plot.
But I mean, what if the players just go straight with, "Hi, we're here from Saltmarsh. What's up?"
Yes, then the lizard man would go, "Oh, hi, yeah, do you want to join our alliance?" And the players would go, "Yeah, all right." And then that would be the adventure over.
And that's you two missing, yeah. And then if you did it once, why not try to do it with the Swahagrin? Why can't you talk to them? Mm-hmm. I don't see that working out well.
No,
at that point,
I think the Sahagrin are very, very, very mean. They're not very nice at all.
Yeah, as opposed to the lizard folk who
are lovely. Yes.
Well known for being.
But they're not lizard folk, they're lizard men.
Lizard men.
Yes, this is the 1980s, you know.
Lizard men.
There are female lizard men.
Oh, of course. Yes. To be fair, I do enjoy the occasional bit where this is called out in fantasy books. They talk about this female man. Right. Oh yes, I see what you did there. Yeah. Very good, very good.
Yeah. So I think we're done.
Huzzah!
Done for another week.
Yes.
So we'll be back next week at the same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat place.
Same bat place. Hopefully we'll have fixed or replaced our mixer, and we won't have to cuddle up quite so much.
Yep.
Although I know you're enjoying it.
That's true. I know that.
So thank you everybody for listening.
We hope you've enjoyed listening to this podcast.
Because we certainly haven't enjoyed making it.
That has been awful. I despise us. It's all come out now.
Hashtag Team Morrus.
Hashtag Team Peter. Dungeons and Dragons is watching you. Anyways, moving on.
If you could please do pop on over to our Patreon and please support our podcast. You'll get access to exclusive extra content, deleted scenes, alternate versions of our sketches, all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
And the opportunity to ask us questions directly.
Yes.
And if you'd like to send us a sketch or reach us for some other reason, you can reach us at morruspodcast@gmail.com.
We're also on the Discord channel.
One thing I also want to say is we haven't had any reviews in ages.
Oh,
sometimes. I subscribe to this service which every 2 weeks sends you an email telling you about the latest iTunes reviews. Because iTunes reviews show up on different services, so you'd have to log out and log into iTunes.com, iTunes.co.uk and the Australian one and the Canadian one, all that sort of stuff to see them all. There's a service that just summarises it every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Like for the last 2 months, every 2 weeks, I basically got this email saying, "Here's a summary of your latest reviews on iTunes. You have no new reviews." So, and I always feel quite sad when I get, and I was almost going to just cancel the service. Like, oh God, I just don't want to keep getting emails telling me we've got no reviews. But if you could review our podcast and leave us 5 stars, please, because basically the way it works is if it's not 5 stars, 4 stars or less may as well be 1 star. Just the way its algorithms work. Mm-hmm. And just leave us a comment or two on, well, not even just iTunes, whatever your pod-catching app or source is.
Your preferred form of media.
Thanks for listening, and we will return next week.
Huzzah!
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Well, what a disappointment that was. I have some thumbscrews around here somewhere. Maybe, after a bit more torture, their podcasting might be a little less excruciating. Do you see what I did there?